On today's episode of the Startup Junkies podcast, we're joined by the founders of adwinesor. adwinesor is a new company that makes curated wine tasting experiences. Tune into this episode to learn how they're shaking up the Northwest Arkansas wine scene. This is the Startup Junkies podcast. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the Startup Junkies podcast. Thank you for tuning in however and wherever you're tuning in from. My name is Daniel Koonce, and I'm joined here today by my co-host, Jeff Amerine. Jeff, how you doing?
You know, I'm doing great, and mostly because it's only 60 days until basketball season starts for collegiate level.
60 days.
I think football season is over.
The Hogs are 500 though, right?
Yeah, 500.
500.
Right. Play a couple FCS teams and you can be 500. I just hope we win another game the rest of the season.
Yeah, one more would be huge.
And just one would be great.
Well, after a depressing weekend, we have a happy Monday because we have two awesome guests.
Absolutely.
Some of our recent friends. We have Paolo and Yulia from adwinesor. How are you guys doing today?
Doing great.
Amazing.
Yeah, thank you guys for coming in. I've understood that you've been on a podcast before, so you know a little bit what you're doing. This is your first time, right?
It is, yes.
Okay, so we'll start with you then. Give us a little bit of your background, your journey, and kind of your entrepreneurial story.
This is the origin story.
Origin story.
Okay.
Yulia, origin
like
story.
Wolverine. Pick your favorite
Wonderful.
Marvel character
Wonderful.
or X-Men or whatever.
Grew up in Little Rock. When I was 18, I decided to start traveling the world. Lived in 8 different countries, doing studying, traveling, working, etc., and discovered that I have a passion for wine after discovering I don't have a passion for investment banking. So
Was there a correlation there? Did the wine convince you that investment banking was not?
Slightly. Thought I wanted to work in New York in banking and realized after about 2 days of my internship that that's not the route for me. So decided to just try something totally new and started taking buses to visit small wineries and winemakers in Argentina. So I've been up and down, left and right. In Argentina, and discovered that that is really where I want to focus my life, if you will, on, and basically moved to Italy after doing several stops around the globe and realized that if I want to really dig my knees and elbows into the wine industry, that's the right place to do it. And so spent about 3 years working there across different wineries of big, small, of all sizes, and doing all sorts of different jobs from making wine to branding, marketing, export, import, sales, etc., and realizing that that's just the perfect world for me.
Which regions in Italy?
So started in Rome, went to Friuli in the north, Tuscany, then Calabria with Paolo, back to Tuscany. And
Where in Tuscany? Where were you?
So in a small town between Florence and Siena.
Okay.
So very beautiful, lots of rolling hills, lots of wineries, every corner basically has a winery, and a lot of stories to discover, which was...
What was the small town called?
It was called Ulignano.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've been to that area
Okay.
a bunch, which is, I thought it might have been a place where I stayed, but okay. So the interrogation on Italy is complete. One of my favorite places, for sure.
Yeah, well, that's
Very
a
cool.
really awesome story. Seems like you've been in a lot of really unique places. We'll kick it over to you. Tell us a little bit about your origin story.
Well, I come from Italy, 100% Italian, coming from the south of Italy, from a very small town of 3,000 souls called Fagnano Castello. There's no castle there, but there's a lot of beautiful nature. And that's where I fell in love with wine since I was a kid, starting to produce wine with my dad, just as a hobby, because he says like that if we start like to sell, it becomes a business and I lose passion for it. So never been interested in having that business as a family. But when I was 18, I decided that I wanted to explore the world. So I moved to UK, been living in Durham, been there at the college, lived in central London, then traveling around Europe for work, and came back to Tuscany. And that's when I started to feel again the wine in my veins And I immediately dedicated my life to the wine business, worked for several wineries there in every single department that you can imagine in the wine business, from the production, the hospitality, managing the properties, sales and export. And then one day, after COVID happened, that on a vineyard, I met Yulia. And since that moment, we started to explore wineries. We explored now over 300 wineries.
Oh, wow.
That requires a lot of drinking.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah. And we've been conducting more than 500 testing for people coming from all over the world. And that's when we decided that we wanted to have a vision. We wanted to express our passion the way we want, and give value to those romantic producers that are behind the sustainable wines.
Yeah, that's also a really cool story. It seems like we have two very well-traveled guests today.
From some of my favorite places in the world.
Yeah.
Tuscany and South Italy. Can't go wrong.
Yeah, and it's obvious you both share a passion for wine. So tell us a little bit about adwinesor.
Okay, adwinesor is our business, but we treat it like as our baby, because it's literally the expressions of what we love. adwinesor is a wine experience and event provider that has a mission to bring the wine culture in Northwest Arkansas. So I'll tell you a little bit how we reach like that Northwest Arkansas area. When Yulia moved back to US, I came here to visit her, and she was telling me about this Northwest Arkansas area. Because I'm not a big fan of Little Rock. I said, like, it's too big. I don't see hills. Like, there's not too much green the way I like it. Because coming from Tuscany, that was the feeling. And then I came to Fayetteville. I came to Bentonville, and we visited this area. And I said, that's cool. I said, I love the people here. And then I came after 6 months, and I started to see new restaurants and new neighborhoods. And I said, what's going on in this area? So I started to meet more people here and have conversations and understand how beautiful the community here is. The amount of support that they give to each other, which is literally startup junkie mode, is everywhere, in every corner of Northwest Arkansas, and I love that. And we decided that this must be the place. And I remember the evening walking in downtown Bentonville and seeing like this light, I think it was like at the hotel in downtown. And there was this light saying, this must be the place. And I really had the Talking Heads song, and I said, okay, this is not a coincidence. I believe that things happen for a reason. I said, I felt the moment, I felt the place, and that's when we started to look for a place here.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I guess I'm just, ping-ponging it, going back and forth the other sides of the table. So you were talking about bringing the culture to Northwest Arkansas. Mm-hmm. Was there a hole? Did you guys come here and realize there's not a wine culture, or what did that kind of look like?
I think we identified a gap, if you will. There are incredible restaurants, there are incredible wines, but the gap that we saw is that people are not aware of how to drink them, for example, or what they like or what they don't like, or how do you choose? And I say this because we've got these questions so many times. I go to a restaurant, amazing wines, I'm sure. I don't know how to pick. I know I like white, but what are all the different varieties or versions or vintages, et cetera? And so hearing a lot of this feedback, because any conversation we have usually starts with wine, ends with wine, or is about wine. So we've heard a lot of this feedback and this commentary from individuals who love fine dining, who love curated, elevated, drinking experiences, but this need for I would love to learn more. I would love to explore my palate. I like to explore my senses and just like know more. And that's one of the things that drew us here is the amount of individuals that love new experiences and that seek out for new experiences and also have the community feeling is incredible. I don't think I've ever been to a place, and I've been many places, where there's just this continuous and constant search for, how can I be part of the community? How can I bring people along? How can I meet new people? And how can I do something fun and interesting? And so that was very cool for us to see. And that really gave us that just like solid feeling of, this is where we're going to be. This is where we're going to do adwinesor. So
tell us how it works. So assume I'm looking for that wine experience or that wine and food experience. Sell me.
Yes. So you would probably find us on Instagram or several news articles where we have appeared, probably because you saw a news article that says there's a townhouse in Bentonville, and then there's going to be maybe a wine shop there, and it not very clear what's going on. So that's part of also what we're going to be doing. So I'll mention that a little bit later.
Okay.
So we've had kind of people come to us about, first from the wine shop point of view, then from the wine experience point of view. And so basically we offer private curated experiences. So if you want to do date night with your partner or with your friends, or you want to do Friday wine night, or you want to have a birthday party, or you want to do a cooking class, or whatever it may be, and you would like there to be additional value and really make an experience around it, that's where we come in. So we provide the knowledge, we provide the interactive setting, we provide the guided journey of through your senses of, we're going to explain every wine, teach you about every wine. We're going to help you understand how do you pair it with a charcuterie board? How do you pair it with your favorite dish? How can you then, when you go to the liquor store, the wine shop, how can you then take your knowledge and the incredible experience that you had with us, and how can you apply it when you actually want to buy a bottle by yourself and you are by yourself, right? And so we have the private events. So the more of, you call me and you say, hey, let's organize an event. And the whole idea behind what we do and what we love to do is making it very curated. So if you say, I really dislike white wine, well, we're just not going to include white wine. We're going to explore different wines, right? So it's all about what you like and what kind of experience you want to have with your guests, right?
Gotcha.
And so we are starting our first public, or I call it like public ticketed event, if you will. We're going to start doing them in October and really into the fall, when the weather gets a little bit cooler and people are looking for more indoorsy activities, of having more public events where you can come with a friend, you can just buy a ticket, very accessible price, and you come and you're part of like the larger community. So you're definitely going to meet somebody you don't know. You're definitely going to interact. You're going to have fun. You're going to learn something. And it's always going to be about just having that positive experience with wine, and you being part of just the community feeling of Northwest Arkansas.
Get ready for all this.
Yeah.
Did you go down the sommelier path?
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Let's say that we had to, because of working in the wine business, most of the time you already have that more of the knowledge that a sommelier course might provide. But if you get like your hands dirty in the winemaking, you will develop that knowledge that course is not able to provide to you. But we had to. And it was super interesting, because then you start to see also the wine with a different eye. So what showed to me that sommelier label is one of the labels that makes the wine world very intimidating. And that's what we want to break. That wall that creates that distance that makes the wine so intimidating, that makes people feel so insecure. Sometimes I jump into a liquor store when I go ready, let's see, like I need that wine or this wine, and it takes me 5 minutes to choose a wine. But then I met the poor man standing there looking at that wall, afraid to make a decision
right.
for him and for his friends. And I just enjoy having that chat, saying like, what are you looking for? Tell me what you're going to cook tonight. And I offered him like this 5 minutes consultancy, and he's just like, say, how do you know that? Like, and it's because like it requires a lot of tasting, a lot of studying. It just needs to be passion driven. Yeah. That's what we want to do with adwinesor. Eliminate that frustration,
make it more approachable.
Fear. Exactly,
approachable for people.
That's why we said we're never gonna ask someone to give me a technical descriptions of what you're drinking or what you're smelling, but more express yourself. Tell me really how you feel with this wine compared to the second wine and the third wine. Tell me like what are your feelings if it reminds you of something, because I enjoy so much when I see people that through wine activate the senses, because nowadays our world and what we eat and what we experience is getting so flat that we don't activate our senses anymore. But every time that we smell something that reminds us like our childhood, that's when our brain shows how powerful our senses are.
Do you cover the gamut of not just the classics, but the sherries and the brandies and some of the other, or is that not fit within?
We go just for the wine now.
Just okay.
That's for like a plan for the future.
Some of those things started as wine, right?
Yes.
Oh, absolutely. But we'll have also, we touch the sherry, like for example, with Pedro Jimenez, for example, great producer that makes the sherry wines, like aged for several years in casks and gorgeous products. And that is something that we will include in our experiences, but it all depends on what you like. That's like the exploration comes from. Different is for our pop-up events. What we want to do is just to have like themed events so that you will attend 100 events and you will always learn something new.
So if somebody wanted to really go deep with Portuguese ports, that would be something you would.
And we can do, for example, rare cheeses. And port tasting. That sounds fun.
You might have a new customer right here. Well, it sounds like you're about to have a new customer.
Well, I mean, I love this kind of stuff.
Are you an entrepreneur or an aspiring entrepreneur looking to get plugged into the ecosystem? We host a ton of events designed for education, inspiration, and collaboration, from weekly meetups to quarterly events like pitch competitions and annual events like our marquee event, the Startup Crawl, which is the largest startup party in Arkansas. Check out our event page on our website, sign up, and we'll see you there.
We went to Parma in Italy the last time we were over there, and we're at a place where they make Parmigiano Reggiano, not just the Parmesan cheese that we have in, the shakers. And it was magical. It was just really a magical experience. And we did a little bit of a wine pairing, but we were at the place where for 4 or 5 generations, this group has made Parmigiano Reggiano, and it was amazing. So,
even the walls smell like cheese there.
Oh, it was just... It was almost like a spiritual experience in that place. And it was a family-run business still, so
Isn't it fun when they just knock on the cheese wheel? They look crazy, right?
Oh, they do. They knock on it, and they're varying different colors based on how long it's been up there, but the consistency is really amazing. And I had one other interesting experience on a previous trip where we were staying with a family, multi-generational family. It was kind of an Airbnb thing in Perugia, and everything that we were eating and drinking was from right there. So the grandma was the one that was mashing the grapes and managing all that, and they had their own wine, and there was figs and olives growing everywhere, and we made pasta. And it was, if somebody said, you're really kind of a bad American, we're going to exile you and you got to stay here, I'd be all right, sign me up. It was awesome.
They find pleasure in that.
Oh, it was
stuff feel like every day.
It was just
try the good stuff.
It was super great. So I'm kind of envious of what you're doing now. It brings back it evokes a lot of really good memories.
That's what we've been doing with the wineries that we explored, literally to understand what's the family, what's the concept, why this producer has the potential to make a wine that will sell everywhere in the world, but doesn't even have a marketing and sales team. It's just 3 people in the same family, but making exceptional products. Our mission is to make this products available, bring it to the beautiful community of Northwest Arkansas, because this community deserves that. Deserves like to understand what's outside of the US. And we want to also be the bridge that will take the community in Europe traveling, exploring. And reason why, like we also included as one of our services in adwinesor, the travel consulting, because we realized that we've been around a lot. We've been traveling a lot. We had one day in Italy, we had breakfast, lunch, and dinner in 3 different cities from north to south.
In 3 different regions and 3 different cities.
When we realized that, it's like we kind of been around today, right?
Amazing.
And we want to provide that experience that takes that keeps the American tourist away from the tourist traps that they're literally everywhere. I've been in the tourism business, and I don't like when someone is traveling from the other side of the globe, and instead of being with a grandma like you did, you end up like in a restaurant that is cooking frozen meals. It just makes me mad.
We always go the other. I mean, the experience is so important. We always go the other direction. In fact, the place that we stayed, my daughter was over there for an exchange student program, so we just stayed for 3 weeks and drove around. And in Tuscany, we stayed in a place, and I'll probably mispronounce this, so forgive me. I think it was called Poggibonsi. Poggibonsi?
Yes.
Which was the place we stayed in had been there since the 11th century, right? So there's all this history. But it was a small town with a nice outdoor market. The people were super friendly. The streets were really narrow, as they often are. It was kind of scary as an American driver, where you used to everything built for a truck. But it was amazing. The food was amazing. The wine pairing was amazing. It was just incredible time. And it was a small area.
Cars
probably
are
no other
tourists compared to American cars.
And the pace was great too. We didn't get too big a hurry.
I wanted to add on also to what he was saying about when we travel, we found so much excitement and happiness in talking to the smaller producers that don't often even recognize how incredible their product is because it's just their standard. And that's where we developed we kind of coined it the adwinesor's clean concept for the wines that we are going to include in our experiences. So low intervention, minimal preservatives or chemicals added in the vineyard, in the cellar.
Try to go away from the sulfites.
Yes, as much as we possibly can. Where there was sustainable, not just work in the cellar, but also in the vineyard. So really from before the grape was even there. Right. So how you treat the land, how you treat the workers on the land, how you work in the cellar, how you actually create the bottle and make it what it is, right? The actual golden liquid, as I call it. So focusing on minimal intervention, low sulfites, sustainable practices, and smaller producers. So that's our big concept is it's great if you produce 2 million bottles per year, but you're everywhere, right?
Sure.
Like you have a marketing team, you have a sales team, like you're around in wine shops and retail and different retail spaces. And so we want to really focus on those smaller producers and tell their story and give life to their products.
Are you going to get into the import-export game? Or are you going to do that? No. But I mean, there's synergy there, right? Where if you could, some of these producers want to figure out the right way to do U.S. market entry, you're obviously going to be an important part of it. Could be an important part of the promotion side of that.
We are part of the game for sure.
Right.
But our goal is to be on a retail and not distribution. But from the retail spot, we can surely have a word and a conversation with the distributor first, and then the importer, and that's then the importer that will knock the door of the producers to have an agreement. But that we're going to try to influence them to bring more and more of the good stuff, for sure.
Speaking of kind of the retail space, Yulia, you brought it up earlier. You guys have a big project coming up. You guys want to tell us about the cellar on B Street?
So that's like the pictures of the townhouse that
gotcha.
Yes, that we have seen come up in several newspapers, and we're like, oh, that's our townhouse. And like, oh, that's going to have a sign that now is installed today. So now that if you drive on Southwest B Street in downtown Bentonville, you're going to see a nice sign that is going to become effective, if you will. Next month, we're going to open Bentonville's first boutique wine and specialty foods shop, where we're going to sell wine by the bottle for retail. And we're also going to sell different specialty food items that obviously go well with any wine experience that you want to have. So thinking of olive oils, balsamic vinegars, different jams, chocolates, anything that you would put for a wine night, for a charcuterie dinner night with friends, for a wine party, whatever it may be. Our idea is to provide a one-stop shop to where you don't have to bounce around from retail to retail searching for, a specific product or for a unique new item that you want to, even find a gift for a friend, right?
Are you going to bundle it to where if somebody like me is kind of likes to drink and likes to eat, but doesn't know what goes together, it's like, this is all together.
You're our perfect customer, Jeff. That's exactly what we're going to be doing.
Pre-curate. Oh, that's awesome.
Yes,
that's awesome.
Exactly. So the cool part is you're going to find us in the shop. So we'll be able to provide the expertise on the wine and also on the product. And every single product that is going to be in the shop has been very carefully selected. We've been working on it for several weeks of selecting which specific items that we want to bring in, again, following fair trade, sustainable producers, smaller producers. So we're super excited about it. Just the products that we've heard about or seen somewhere, and we've watched interviews with the producers and the owners of the little companies, and it's just very, very cool. So
next time I need to find a really special Chianti from a small producer, you're going to be the source.
Yes. And I'm going to have also the extra virgin olive oil cold pressed from Perugia.
Nice.
So you can go back.
Man, lots of good memories.
But that's what we want to do, is just to create a place where we can also offer the consultancy. And I just hate seeing people feeling lost when they have to buy something that then you're going to enjoy. I'd like to do that prep before they go home, and I want them to feel confident and show off with family and friends, because they will know already how to cook that nice pasta that they're getting and why that wine works with that. It's something that nowadays, we are really losing the romantic piece of it. I challenge ChatGPT. We were talking offline before starting the podcast. I challenge it sometimes, and I ask him for pairings. What would you pair with that? It's the why that really makes me mad. The why is so just politically correct that I can't. So it must be based on the experience and what you want, because one thing that we say during our events, when we push people to open the senses, close your eyes, activate your nose, search in your memory something that smells like this, it's never the same. And one of the games that we do basically shows this, that we all have a different experience, and the same scent, the same flavor, it's for us a different moment, it has a different color. So that's where it is important, to activate that critical thinking, to activate that passion button all the time, to take care of your customer and just deliver not the product at the retail or a tasting. We're not pouring wine.
Sure.
We're just providing an educational moment. We are doing not just a retail, but we're taking care of you when you come in. That's what I like.
And it's, a lot of people who listen to this might be thinking about, it sounds like that's going to be a lot about really high-end, very expensive bottles of wine, but it's not, is it? You can find affordable wines that are outstanding. Is that a fair statement?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So that's the whole idea of making that experience more approachable to
Correct.
people, right?
Because then once you have our experience, you have the knowledge, the confidence, the really just like you're able to go into a wine shop and say, okay, I tried this. I loved this. This is what I felt. And I can now confidently choose another bottle in the same price range that you can have on a Wednesday night for dinner. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, absolutely.
But it's not true that good wine is expensive.
Mm.
It's not. Like most of the time, like working, especially in the export and wine, you'll understand that so many wines are expensive just because the great marketing has been done through the years. So they built this story, they built like this reliability in the market that is the price. But there is a price where we're not gonna go because we're not selling the wines that have a great marketing behind.
Mm-hmm.
We're selling something that without the bottle, without the label, tastes good. So we want to make it approachable. So if you're looking for a good wine between $15 and $20, you'll find it at our shop. But if you want the special wine, of course, that requires more time, more resources, especially if we need to age it. We got to buy those barrels. We got to buy new, and they're very expensive. So the price of the wine goes up. But you'll never find a wine that costs $600 because, in our opinion, it's just marketing, and we can get
very fancy labels.
Yeah.
So years ago made investments and still one of the owners in Bike Rack Brewing and in Black Apple Hard Cider. You can see that occasionally I do things based on what I like to do with my time rather than figuring out ways to make money. But one of the things that's been a challenge for those businesses is overall alcohol consumption is going down. The trends feel like they're kind of headed in the other way. And so they've had to focus more on how do we make this an experience? How do we add food? That kind of stuff. How do you think about that trend, the fact that alcohol consumption in general across most categories is going down, and talk about how you address that and what you're doing?
People can drink less as long as they're drinking better. That's my personal approach.
Yeah. So you're emphasizing the experience part of it.
I'm emphasizing the experience
rather than
quality.
Drink a lot. You're going to drink something that's great.
Correct.
And you're going to learn something along the way.
And you're going to love it and remember it, and you'll want to do it again and do it less often. It's better for your liver. But drink well.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we have also our section for non-alcoholic wines or de-alcoholized wines.
Do you see that going up? The NAs, the non-alcohol?
Yes.
Okay.
Because so many people stop to drink, even if they were not like heavy drinkers, but for health, religion, whatever is the reason, they stop to drink the alcohol. There are so many realities and producers that now, for example, just yesterday, we ordered a wine from Tuscany that has been famous for 150 years for making excellent Chianti Classico, like you mentioned earlier. The Riserva was a very good wine. And they started to make a de-alcoholized wine. And I was so surprised. And so we started to study about the wine and what is behind that. There are the actual grapes. There's actual wine. But it's not as a grape juice. It's not as a wine. It's right in the between. So if you have a problem with alcohol content in the wine, you can still have the experience. You can still enjoy the pairing, but with no alcohol. Reason why we'll have also the focus on this type of products, so that if you walk in, you want to build like your Italian dinner, you will find Italian products. You want like a little French hint, you will find those too. But we also want you to feel comfortable and find the product with no alcohol there too.
Seems like two really great answers to that question.
Yeah.
Seems like they cracked the code.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Well, the way we kind of like to wrap up these episodes, I know you guys are fairly new entrepreneurs, but if you guys could get in a time machine, and I'll let you go first and you can go second, get in a time machine and tell yourself a younger piece of advice, what would it be?
Move to Northwest Arkansas.
Okay. That's a good advice.
Earlier
right there.
than when I did. Yes. Like that's what that's the first thing that comes in my mind. I had the impression that if I would have moved like to Northwest Arkansas earlier, I would have like, I don't know how many businesses, like, and how many contacts. Maybe we would build a bridge, Northwest Arkansas, Italy, something like that.
I like the way this guy thinks.
Yes,
That's great.
But that's what I was saying, and mostly
That's
like to do not be scared. Like if things like look quite bigger than you, that means that's a challenge. And that's what we've been doing since we joined a Startup Junkie. We see like so many entrepreneurs moving here with no clue of what's going on in their lives, but they try, they believe, and then they succeed because they believe in what they do.
Yeah. I'll tell you a secret. Other than this guy, I don't think anybody knows what they're doing.
Seriously. Don't kid yourself. I'm sure I know what I'm doing.
Glad to have you, Jeff.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here.
That's really good advice.
We didn't plan the answer, but he kind of took my answer. I read a quote when I was actually younger that reframed the way that I perceive like anything that I do or any opportunity that I'm doing. And the original quote was, if your dreams don't scare you, they're not big enough. And it kind of set me back a little bit. And I was like, how can I apply it to me? And I changed it for my personal experiences. If whatever you're working on, whatever opportunity is in front of you, if that doesn't scare you, it means you're not doing the right thing. Do something that scares you and keep moving mountains with that. And so I think that has been something that I actually didn't tell myself when I was younger, but like I started, having read that quote, started to make my brain think slightly differently. And I often say this, like we say this in the kitchen all the time, of what we're doing is scary and that's a great thing. And if it seems hard, it means we're doing absolutely the right thing. So yeah.
That's also really, really good advice. I like that.
Two good answers.
Yeah. So if any of our listeners or audience, they want to learn more about you guys or about adwinesor or the cellar on B Street, where should they go? Instagram, what is it?
Yes. adwinesor.
adwinesor?
Yes.
All right. We'll make sure we tag that in the show notes. And thank you guys for coming on. That was an awesome conversation.
That was nice.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Appreciate you so much.
I'm ready for some wine.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Crack open a
Outstanding.
bottle.
It's almost time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to share with a friend. Subscribe and review because it matters to us and we want to hear from you. If you're interested in learning how to work with us, check out the information below. See you next week.